Hello, my name is John and welcome to Unique Wargaming Terrain. I set up these videos because as a wargamer I want other people to benefit from the experience and knowledge that I have. I also want to make terrain and show you sneaky things to make terrain. If 1% of this video helps you in any way, whether you're new to the hobby or whether you're a veteran, then great. So where to start? When you come to the hobby and you're new, it's all overwhelming. What do I do? What army do I pick? What do I do? The first thing you need to do is decide what game system you're playing. If you're playing something like Dungeons and Dragons or another role-playing dungeon crawler, you pick heroes, off you go. If you're playing AOS or 40k or anything like that, Napoleonics or any other game system, then you need to pick your army first. The best way to go about this is to probably go to the stockist that sells those models and then just speak to them and find out what's the pros and cons of this army and that army, and and then what you want to do is probably buy the army book or the codex and then buy one model, which is going to be your general or your warlord, or then what you want to do is either some tools that you need. These are the tools that you need. So you have your sprue, your first purchase, your new warlord general. This is a Chaos Sorcerer from AOS on the sprue. These are the tools that you need. Pair of clippers, very, very handy. When I first started off, I just used to take the sprue, pull the bits off. That's a mistake. So you take your clippers and you just snip, 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 job done. Then what you need are tools like this. Now I got these from Games Workshop in a pack, 10-15 euros, something like that. Well, £15. This is a while back, but this is the main one that you want. Now I can't remember what this is called, so if anyone knows, chuck it in the comments below. I call it scraper. So what you'd do is you'd use this edge to scrape along casting lines. Now luckily with the fine cast and stuff like that we have now, there's very little cast lines. There's still some, but not that many. So what you want to do is click the model out, use this to scrape the casting lines, and then you want to dry fit the model. What that means is you'll take all the parts, start putting them together without any glue, so you know where they're going and how they're going and what way they're going to fit together. Then when that's done, you know what you're doing. You're probably better off starting with the body, gluing it to the base. The reason for this, you don't want to be sitting there messing around holding stuff with super glue on it when you don't need to. If it's glued to the base, you stand down, that's it. There's no messing around. And then you glue the rest of it on, the body, in this case, this part of the body to this part, so it's the front of the model, then the head, the arms, etc. Now at that stage, when that's dried, that's when you would move on to basing. But luckily with this model, you see that it's got some very good detail and texture on the base, so you don't need to worry about what I'm about to show you next. So you've got your model glued up, lovely. What I do is I will put gravel on the base. Now the gravel that I use is a railway coal. It goes between the rail tracks for model trains. And when I do it, the PVA glue, it works out like that. I don't know if you can see that too well. And then what I do then, when that's dry, is I'll undercoat the whole thing black. Now this black spray, I bought this from the range for €4. This is a enamel, fast drying enamel. Now with this, you will need to use gloves because it is very, very sticky. Give it a light spray first of all. It takes about an hour to dry, and you can literally see it what's wet on it and what's dry. When it's dry, then you go over and give it another light spray, nice and easy. And for €4, you can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong. And then you're at this stage. You have the model, the gravel's done, the whole thing's black, the gravel, model, everything. And what I do then is I will get Still Legion Drab from Citadel Games Workshop, and I will dry brush the gravel on the base. You can see that. Just dry brush, simple dry brush. What's a dry brush? Well, you get your brush, you get a tiny little bit of paint on the end of the brush. Just a tiny little bit. And as you go over, it catches all the raised areas. And what that does then is, with the black undercoat spray, that'll stay dark, whereas the top levels will be the light brown. And then that's good for painting for me. So when that's done, I will then start painting the model. Now, when you get towards the end and the model's finished, that's when I add flocks. How much flock do you add? How much do you add? Well, depends on the model. If you're just doing basic rank and file, you don't want to add too much. You want enough to take a bit of colour variant away from the model to the base, so it contrasts each other. But you also don't want to overpower it too much, so it hides the model and the model doesn't even get noticed. But if you've got like a giant or a troll or something big like that, you might want to go for a different size flock, like a 4mm or something. Or you might want to pick 2mm one, but put it on a bit more, in a bit more areas, just to give it a bit more, definition and height and everything else. But this is the basic, when I finished, how I do mine. So you can see a little bit of flock at the front, a little bit of flock at the back. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. And that's done. That's about ready. What glues do I use? I use super glue. I don't go for plastic glue. It's handy and it's good and it works, it's fantastic. But for me, super glue dries quicker. So if I'm having a problem gluing something for whatever reason, with the super glue, you can use tricks like have the two parts, just brush them together. And as it starts heating up the glue will get all stringy and you can just put it together. Done. And I'm used to working with loads of lead models, so super glue is always my go-to. And then after that stage, you're going to need paints. Now, what paints do I get? What paints do I get? It's up to you. There are a lot of painting companies that make model paints. I usually tend to stick with Citadel Games Workshop only because it's readily available for me. I say readily available, I mean I have to go to Dublin to get some, but it's still there. I'm not going to go into the vast amount of paints that they have, but there is a vast amount. And I'm not the best one to ask for paints. I know what I want and I do it. I'm still learning on that sort of sale. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of paints. You can, with brushes, what brushes do I use? Well, I buy my brushes from the range in Maynooth. I get a pack of 5 or 6 brushes for like €7, €8, something like that. They're not the best, but they're not the worst. And for the price, it's worth it. If I paint 30 models with one brush and then it's knackered, it costs me very little, as opposed to paying €10–15 for one brush. Yeah, that's, I'll wrap this video up here on this. I hope any of this information I've given you is of any help to new players or to veterans. So please hit the like, subscribe, notifications and share button, and thank you for watching this. Cheers. Bye bye.